So we're here today, beautiful spring day at my house, been out ripping up the dirt and wanted to go through and do a review of the Starcross5 soft terrain tyre. Been using these now for a year and really found this new version to be a good fit for me, and I guess for New Zealand riding conditions as well. We obviously ride on pretty loamy soil, well I do, certainly ride on loamy soil quite often, and here today is no different to what I sort of normally ride. So this bike here, YZ 252 stroke, I've been riding this now for a couple of months. On this particular bike I'm running the 110/90/19, but I obviously ride a 450 quite a bit, and I prefer on the 450 this 120/80/19. I guess the biggest point to make for me personally is when I'm riding the 450, I like that little bit bigger of a footprint. Just feel that for me and the way that I ride, I like that bigger footprint for feeling on the dirt. So yeah, I generally stick with that 120. I will in the summer if I get to tracks late spring into the summer where you're riding on tracks that are ripped and watered quite often and they develop quite deep ruts. I find in New Zealand switching over to the 110 for that terrain is beneficial, just because when you're in the ruts that footprint's just that little bit smaller and you don't find that it snags as much. You're able to be cleaner through the ruts, but 90% of the time this is me 120. On this bike here today, like I said, the 110, you'll know in the rut there's a couple of rut shots and you can see that I'm able to just flow through it quite nicely. Obviously big factor, you know, the smaller the bike and horsepower, you probably want to have less rubber, or you know, within reason, less rubber, and so a smaller tyre gives you less drag ultimately. But that's obviously, you know, depending on the soil conditions and what you're dealing with. But as a rule of thumb, a 252 stroke, 254 stroke should be probably no bigger than a 110 on the rear. So with the new Starcross range, whether it be the soft, the medium or the hard, suggested is to be in around the 15 PSI mark. Now today when I went out to ride, I set it at 14.5, and that's what I've been running on today. I feel that today's conditions, being just a little bit more moisture under the soil, it looked quite nice on top, but I knew that the rain that we'd had and just the type of soil that I ride here locally does get quite a hard base or pan underneath that top soil layer. So yeah, I've been running 14.5 today, and I fluctuate into the mid 15s depending how dry the soil is, but certainly the construction of this tyre and the design with the new carcass and build allows you to run a high pressure, and it's certainly beneficial. I have been down as low as 13 in wet conditions, but obviously I'm a pretty fair weathered rider these days, so I generally get out in good conditions, and so yeah, I really don't go below that 14 mark generally, but you know, staying around that 14.5, 15 PSI, which is quite a lot different with this new version, the Starcross5 range, and you've got to make sure that you test that and get a feeling for it. But I believe there's that window, like I said, around that 14.5 to 15.5, and you just got to personalize it from there. So a cool feature on the new Starcross5 model is the self-cleaning tread design. So here you've got some small horizontal lines, and they just help release the soil and make sure that, you know, whatever terrain you're on, it reduces the soil carry. So that's a cool little feature that's on this new Starcross5 range. So carrying on that same design and area of the tyre, you've got these mud phobic bars, so they further enhance cleaning, especially on the soft tyre, to keep, you know, this whole area here between your knobs, keep that area nice and clean, and obviously reduces build up and hopefully maximises your traction really. So this model, it's got a really super aggressive profile, so it makes the tread pattern more aggressive, and basically that results what I've felt out there riding is when you're at full lean, you've got a lot better grip on an angle. So yeah, that definitely has helped the construction of this tyre. Being a lighter construction along with higher pressure, you're able to really lean and be real aggressive with this new construction. It's a brand new casing technology on the new Starcross 5 range. Moved from 3 nylon piles to 2 piles of polyester, which allows obviously for a 15% lighter tyre all round. So we'll move to the front of the bike now. Obviously still running the Starcross 5 soft version. Right here, this one here, 80, 121. I'm finding this, you know, I'm a real front end steering rider, finding this tyre to be fantastic. Obviously the soft version is something that I pretty much run all of the time. For me, the biggest part about this is that you've got the block here in the front split into 2 tread patterns, and obviously just really gets good bite in the front. Again, this tyre obviously running a far lighter construction and running again at 14.5 psi in the front today. And coupled with that, you know, for me, obviously as you start to lean the bike over, got some really superior knobs on the outside here that allow that bike to really grab traction at a high angle. And just overall, this central line of knob locks really allow you to have superior braking control, I feel, especially with the fact that you can adjust that tyre pressure to suit the conditions, and this tyre is still able to really handle really hard braking, which for me, I'm a real, like I said, front end steering rider and also quite a hard braker, so I need good confidence in a front tyre, and for me the Starcross 5 medium allows me to have that confidence. So yeah, I mean, Starcross 5 range of tyres is my choice. Obviously these come in a soft, a medium, a hard and a sand option, so really covers all your bases, and the technology that is in this new range of tyres is great for giving good confidence in all-round conditions with all of those options.